and with that belief in yourself and that confidence, and of course the family support. Because the first thing you would do, you would thank your family right away and say, "Oh my gosh, we did it! We did it! It is so incredible." From the training prior to Miami, what were the major changes that you did in order to make you believe and be so confident as into where you are now? What were the little changes that you needed to do?
I think recently, physically, I've made a huge step. I really focused on building my endurance, my physique. My legs are moving much faster. And other than that, there have just been some small points and small moments during the match where I have to lock in a bit more, where I have to trust my shots. And in the end, all these little points, when added up, make a big difference.
That's right. So you start connecting the dots. I mean, when we first heard, oh my gosh, she's going against Ostapenko. Incredible. It was a tough match for you. It wasn't as, I wouldn't say easier, but I mean, the scores were really close from 7-6 and 7-5. At what point in the match did you actually think and believe? I mean, you believed it from the beginning, but did it actually make sense? I can actually beat her.
From the beginning, I can actually beat her is the mindset that I go into the court with. It can seem hard to think like that, especially when you're playing such decorated players. But and it's one of my first times to play players as decorated as them. Yeah. So it's also a new experience for me. But that mindset and that way of thinking going in is what helped me perform, what helped me execute.
I mean, your mindset is actually your superpower. I mean, right now you have cultivated so many years of training and put it in your arsenal. And so now, I have done all the hard work, and now it's actually your time to actually perform. So from Ostapenko, you went through her 7-6, 7-5, and then you were going to face Madison Keys. Once again, the belief was there, but what was going through your mind as to how am I going to, beat a player such as her, wherein she just recently won the Australian Open?
For me, a big thing that my team and again my family was telling me was to be humble on court, and that mindset and that way of thinking allowed me to chase after all the balls, accept that I wasn't going to win every point, accept that she was a big hitter, accept that she was going to make good winners, and in the end pull through.
I mean, that's right. So where did you gather, I guess probably from the years of experience, but all of this maturity in order for you to handle all the wins, the struggles, be mentally strong and tough? How did you gather? I mean,
yeah, I think this is also so new to me and it's coming very fast. But my top priority right now is my tennis and my matches. So everything else comes second. I think staying in touch with my team and them keeping me grounded, with a good balance of them being proud of me, makes a really good atmosphere, And I think I haven't really had a lot of time to process, given that I have so many things to do in terms of recovery, preparation, that I've been able to just focus on the tennis side.
I mean, when Madison congratulated you, I mean, she said you were just incredible. What was your tactic going into that game? Were you just going to keep doing your baseline shots? How were you able to absorb her serves? And did the injury actually bother you on your left thigh?
Okay, sorry, that's a good question. As I said before, I think I knew going into the match that she was going to have a wide range of skills and many things to pull out of her pocket. And I just had to do the best I could with the weapons that I had. There was a slight disturbance in the end of the first set with the left thigh, but nothing to be worried about on my part.
Okay, I mean, obviously you're able to breeze past her 6-4, 6-2. With that victory against Madison, all of a sudden you are now tagged as the giant slayer from the Philippines. I mean, that 19-year-old kid from the Philippines, wild card from the Philippines, rising star. How does that make you feel? So slowly, this is actually putting you to the next level. Everybody's talking about Alex Eala.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I'm in my own bubble right now, and I haven't really had the time to step back and really soak that in. And I think I'll have all the time in the world to do that afterwards. But right now, I'm just taking it step by step and not trying to change the mindset that I've been having this whole week.
That's right. Okay, so a little bit for us tennis fans and that actually play tennis, we want to know a little bit about your maybe pre-game routine. Is there anything that you actually like to do over and over again? Because, us athletes, we're actually very, superstitious in a way. We have our routines and that we like to be consistent with. What are yours?
Of course, I have my whole warm-up routine, which is quite extensive. And a whole recovery routine after that, after the matches. I love to listen to music before I go on court. I love to list down the things that I'm going to do and the things that I need to remind myself during the match, and to sit down with my coach and go through everything that needs to be done.
For your music, what kind of music do you like to listen to? Is it like the pump-up, rocky, balboa type, or is it more like the zen? I'm in the zone, I'm going to relax.
It really depends on the day. It really depends on my mood and how I need, because I feel that music really has the power to change your mood. So if I'm more nervous, I'll put something a bit happier, a bit more lively. If I'm really in the zone, then I'll put something fast-paced. So it depends on the day-to-day.
Tapos yung mga routines. I mean, you come from the Nadal Academy. Have you also incorporated a little bit of Nadal's, drinking routine? As we see, you also have 2 bottles. Are we allowed to ask what's actually in those bottles?
Of course, it's just the energy drinks.
Okay.
Alam mo si Nadal, dami ko din natutunan sa kanya. Pero when it comes to superstitions, that's, I didn't get any
You
from
didn't
him
get their
specifically.
lies and everything.
Yeah, but there's definitely a lot of things that I've learned from him over the years.
Well, what would you say would be one of the big things that you've actually learned from Nadal or from the academy?
I think Nadal, his biggest asset was also his mind. Of course, he was physically a beast,
Yes.
but what set him apart was how he performed in high pressure situations, just like all these other great players. So that's what I try to embody every day.
Yeah, well, now while you're actually living it, you're so mentally strong to be able to to move match after match, no matter who you play. It doesn't matter. I am just gonna play you. I mean, that's how it seems. I've seen you also play recently, and you're just so incredible. Moving on to the next step. I know you have played. I guess Iga Swiatek. You were able to have her as your hitting partner.
Oh, I wouldn't say that she was my hitting
Oh,
partner. I would actually say it was the other way around.
Okay, you were.
I did hit with her once a couple years ago. I forgot how it came to be about, but I had the pleasure of hitting with her a couple years ago in Miami as well.
So moving on to the next opponent or whatever. Do you watch their games? How do you prepare for that?
Of course, I try to focus on myself. Of course, there's tactically you need to know more or less how your opponent is playing, but try to make the focus primarily on me.
Now, where is it that you want to be? We are slowly, step by step. Okay, so where is it? What are your goals after this or moving forward? Where is it that you want to be?
Long term, I want to be at the top. Of course, the goal and the dream has always been to win Grand Slams and to be world number 1. But I just want to reach my full potential and just be the best version of myself.
Now, you're the best version of yourself obviously also helps from your parents who have been so supportive. You never fail to mention and give them credit to what you have become now, the sacrifices that they have made and you have made, being apart for such a long time. Tell me how important that is to you and how that has actually formed you.
Well, I think they deserve all the credit in the world. Like, alam mo naman kaming mga Pinoy, tayong mga Pinoy, we're so family-oriented, and in an atmosphere such as the tour, it's so important to have that support and that support system from your family. So I'm beyond blessed.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned in one interview as you were growing up, you were looking and aspiring your goals to be the top, but you had no one to follow from the Philippines, actually, right? So now you are actually there. You have opened the floodgates for aspiring young tennis players. Kung kaya ni Alex, kaya rin namin yon. You have opened it for us. What would you say to all of those upcoming tennis players in terms of, the journey? The journey is long. The journey is not an easy one, but what would you tell them, like, in terms of how to get there?
For me, I would tell them that they have to believe in themselves, because if they don't believe in themselves, they're already taking their chances away. If you believe, then it's not a guarantee that you're gonna get there. But if you don't believe, then it's a guarantee that you're not gonna get there.
O sige, last question na to, Alex, para sa mga kababayan that have been supporting you 100% all the way. Ano yung message mo para sa kanila as we continue to watch and cheer for you in your next coming matches?
Siyempre, maraming salamat mga kababayan. Sana patuloy-tuloy yung suporta niyo sa akin at pagsusubaybay sa aking mga laro.
Ayan, maraming salamat, Alex. You do us proud. Thank you so much for joining us here on Sports Watch. Alex Eala, good luck to you. And